Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Commentary is Magic's spoiler discussion on the last day of April here. I am, as always, Grandpa's.
I am Emperor Bugle.
Big Cheese.
Less angry than usual, our cat. Hey, Leo.
And Living Silver.
And we are glad to be here yet again with more community spoilers this time around.
Who said spoilers?
The last ones of the month.
I am as...
Well, I guess they have, 4 hours? 5 hours for you guys?
Give or take. Oh, Twitch is doing the thing again. Hold on.
And
there we go. Alright. Silly Twitch, unmuting yourself.
I mean, if they want to throw more spoilers at us while we're live on stream, I would not be opposed.
Oh, yes.
Dear Princess Rob.
We want more. But it's been a good week for spoilers, and also for teacups.
Teacup.
The community's been very active. We've seen several groups be able to showcase some of their own cards. Some of them that we saw last week were community designed, and that doesn't necessarily apply for the ones we have this week, but it doesn't make them any less fun or interesting or discussed. There's been quite a discussion surrounding a few.
Some of these cards have discussion, yes.
Some of these cards have disgust, is in the emotion.
One of these cards has discussed. Two? Regardless.
Depends on which ponies you like, I guess.
Best queen.
Best.
Well, should we go ahead and dive right in and see what we've got here?
I think that sounds appropriate. Okay. So, brief recap for everyone who hasn't seen one of these before. Here is our card rating refresher. We're not going to go over this at length, but feel free to pause it and, look over it if you want. Ready? All right, everyone got it? Good. Now.
Wait, they're pausing our live stream?
Maybe. I mean, you can do that.
For like 3 seconds.
Yeah, but then they miss stuff.
No, they
don't.
That's
bad. Don't tell them to pause.
No, look, it's video on demand. It's great.
On demand within reason.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, obviously, these are we attributed these numbers. This is actually a system Gippy made a long time ago, but we use it to give us a reference. Good is subjective. I mean, these numbers are subjective as well, but they're less subjective than terms like good. I mean, I guess we could go the Rainbow Dash route. This is 20% gooder.
If I ever hear that phrase again,
20%.
I will be very
This is that's.
Oh. So yeah. These are how we like to give our opinions now, but they are opinions. So just because we say something is a 5 and you think it's a 0, that's perfectly okay.
In fact, you should tell us. Yeah, you should even tell us we're wrong. Commentaryismagic@gmail.com. Commentaryismagicteam@gmail.com.
There you go.
20% gooder confirmed for new card. Oh gods.
Yeah, no, we need to that needs to be our email address, 20% gooder. Do it.
Do it. Sure. Do it. Why not?
Okay.
No, okay. Okay. Enough butchering the English language. Let's move on to actual content.
Spoilers. Content. All right, so let's see. First up, we've got Fluttershy Flutterholly. Well, let's take a look at this thing here.
She's adorable.
Yes.
I mean, it's Fluttershy. Of course it's adorable.
I also really like that flavor text.
So, as we're all staring in awe of this card, let's go over the basic info that's here. It's a 3 action token cost, 2 yellow requirement, 1 yellow power friend, a Pegasus friend, go figure, that says this card has +1 power for each of your characters at home. Not each of your friends, each of your characters.
Right.
So if you had a main character that liked to stay at home for some reason, I couldn't imagine why that would be.
You mean vinyl, right?
Moving is effort.
Effort mean, yes.
So what do we think?
It's an interesting take on animal allies.
This is one of the hearth-swarming ponies, right?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes. And right, so that proves that the cycle is not all entry. Like, it would have been cool if they were all just snow dashes, but oh well.
I'm sure we'll still get entry in this set somewhere.
Well, yes,
No
but not
entry.
necessarily from this cycle. Well, we've seen what, 2 entry cards? No, we've seen 3 entry cards.
Mhm.
Flim and Flam, Discord, and Dash.
Yep.
But anyway, we shouldn't talk about those. We should talk about Fluttershy here.
Yeah, so as chat says, kind of an animal allies kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah, it's an interesting take on animal allies. Usually going to be smaller than animal allies, but actually has power. It's not a 0 by default.
I'm
The difference between 1 and 0.
is infinite in percentage basis, but
Well, remember, Animal Allies is never a 0 because it counts itself.
Well,
Except
I mean, you
in
flip it.
flips.
Okay, sure.
yeah. So from that perspective,
Or you
it's not
turn
a-
animal allies off with camo mod.
Oh,
I mean, that's
whatever.
also true.
Yeah.
And 1 is a very magical number when it comes to flips because you can use that high-powered random keyword.
Ooh, boy.
Random.
Oh, yeah. You can't use a random with animal allies.
Actually,
Just gonna say, I like Rainbow a lot more than this card.
I wonder if they're all
Rainbow-
1-power friends.
Oh, that might be interesting.
perhaps.
But yeah,
Is Vinyl was a 1-power friend, wasn't she? No, she was bigger than that. She was
Vinyl is a different cycle.
Fine. Okay.
But this card,
This is the main 6, then Vinyl's background 6. I don't know.
So the issue with Animal Allies right now in the meta is that yellow has problems. And Animal Allies is a perfectly fine card, but it also retains its strength even when you've got all your other characters up to problems. So if you're
Yep.
creating extra token copies through things like Industrial Revolution or...
He gets bigger.
Right, exactly. Fluttershy, Flutterholly, that's not exactly how this works. So with that in mind, knowing that this is going to be slightly less useful in those circumstances than Animal Allies is, but could get the benefit of some of your critters at home, there are 2 ways I could see this being used to its owner's advantage. The first of which being using any of the cards that allow your critter frames to not count against your home limit and just leaving them there.
Yeah, yellow has had home limit bonuses for a long time, which hasn't really helped it too terribly much. So it's nice to see a card that plays off of the that part of the color pie. Yeah, that's it.
That's an option. The second of which is to not look at this in the constructed environment, but instead to look at it in a limited environment.
Oh yeah, she's gonna be great in limited.
This could be good in limited. You have to
She'll
build them.
occasionally.
She's frequently going to be 5-power for 3.
but it also makes me wonder about how many cards like Zephyr we're going to see that aren't designed to sit at home. Or no, I mean, Zephyr can sit at home. This is true. Never mind.
Yeah, but you're not going to play Zephyr to home unless you
I'm going to play
Exactly.
hopes
Good
and play
reason.
Zephyr to home.
in limited.
Yes, I will draft Muffin Mare.
Exactly.
Yes.
We're talking
Okay.
about limited.
So overall, as a common, it will likely at least be cost efficient if you're playing this in the yellow deck.
Yeah, actually, that alone changes my opinion of this in limited. The fact that this is a common raises this a fair amount.
You'll be able to get multiple copies. Again, the issue still kind of becomes 3 action tokens for an aggressive yellow deck is still almost all the AT you're going to be gaining for the majority
Yep.
of the game,
Yeah.
unless you're up against a control deck. So just something you have to think about.
If this were 2-costed, I think I'd be much more interested in it. But at
Yeah.
3,
This might be a little bit too good at 2 cost.
But yeah, at 3 cost, yeah, like big friends are nice and impressive, and they are great on the casual table, but they've historically not done terribly well competitively. I think the one that has seen the most play was Shining Armor, and even he didn't do too terribly well. This is the zero power Shining Armor, crystal Shining Armor.
I don't know. Thunderlane gets pretty big.
Well, yes, but Thunderlane does something that's not just be a big friend.
Indeed.
This is true.
That's why he sees play. Like, but by big friends, I'm literally talking about friends that that's all they do. They are
Is this
big.
have high power?
Yeah.
And I mean, those friends do have a place in the game, especially now that we're seeing a lot of opposing or a lot of problems being run that just have incredibly high confront requirements for the opponent.
Just look at the combo confront deck. 10,
Sure.
10, 10. Also, the rest are 10s.
Yes.
Except for that
the
one
first
4.
Well, I mean, it might be a 7. Depends on your combo.
It does depend on your 7. So, with that in mind, what do we want to say for ratings on this?
2.
2.5.
Really? I'm going to say 3 because of the fact that you can play it with Zipper Whirl and the other Fluttershy that doesn't let the home limit. Like, I see that deck happening.
No, there is a
Maybe not.
constructed
Well-
deck that wants to be built here, but the question is that constructed deck going to be powerful enough to...
Right. Like, I agree that you can use those cards, but those cards, like, having a large home limit doesn't tend to do you much good. Like, it's helpful for Fluttershy, Flutterholly, sure, but Animal Allies has already existed, and it, the strategy didn't exist then. Now, sure, now you can have both in the same deck,
Right.
but I still don't think that's going to be doing terribly much for you.
Yellow needs something else if it's going to be supporting this particular strategy. If it gets other cards, that could be a thing that pushes it. If it can otherwise leverage its advantage by having a lot of characters, yeah. But is, I'm probably also going to give this a 2.
With the cards that we know of right now, I would say 2.
Okay.
Next card.
Next card.
Next card, Teacup. Our queen. Best queen.
Best queen.
Here you go, Aura. I know you wanted this.
No.
Oh, and we should clarify. Fluttershy, Flutterholly came courtesy of... That was solving problems, right?
Yes, solving problems.
Yes. And this one, Queen Chrysalis, came courtesy of Ask Critical Thought.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just going to go out right here and say best card, because it's our queen.
Well, tell us about best card. What does best card have?
It's got a picture of our queen on it. That's why it's best card. Okay, so 7 power Epic Troublemaker. When this card is uncovered, move all characters here home.
Also 2 bonus.
2 whatever. That's
Also,
not important.
The fact that it's a rare is important.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
the
is
fact that
actually
this is a
very
rare.
significant.
Wow.
This is the first non-villainous epic we've seen at Rare. Even if you want to count the Tyrek super rare, that's a super rare.
You know we don't.
And he can be epic.
Also, he frightens. Well, to be fair, any troublemaker can be epic. We have Alicorn Amulet.
Well,
yes.
Hold on.
And
Who says worst card? Them's fighting words. Traitors.
But yeah, so what's notable about the fact that this is a rare? I mean, we've only seen 2 ultra rares, but we've only seen 2 ultra rares, and every set before this set has had a ultra rare epic. Not necessarily a villain, but always an ultra rare epic. But Queen Chrysalis is the big bad of the most recent season. So if you're going to have an ultra rare epic,
It would be her, yeah.
it would be her, right? So
Why not more?
either we have another Queen Chrysalis, or we have no ultra rare epic, or we have someone else. I'm hoping Maniac. Come on. I really want this Maniac.
You're never getting
It's
it.
not happening.
Princess Rob said it was possible.
No, it's Flufflepuff.
It's also
Yes,
possible that
Hufflepuff.
Chrysalis gets redeemed.
No, traitor.
Ouch.
Did we actually say what the ability was?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yes. But we haven't really talked about its uses.
Yeah.
No, we have not talked about what she does. And what she does is baffle some people.
So this is interesting in that it is a non-villainous troublemaker, which some people look to when building friend-heavy farming decks, because those are really nice if you can get them and not have to frighten all your stuff that's there.
Yes.
But the ability is very anti-farming based. When the card is uncovered, you move all characters here home. That includes your own.
Yeah.
And as everyone may remember, you need to have at least one character at a problem in order to challenge a troublemaker at that problem during your troublemaker phase.
And all characters, so you don't even have your 12 power Applejack.
Nope, she
Right.
gone.
Yeah. So now, some colors can get around that.
Sure.
We have blue has Hasty Friends and Thunder Lane. Purple has Bookish Backup.
And
Yellow
also events created through Web of Dreams.
Sure.
Or
yeah.
tokens created through Web of Dreams,
Yellow has Rise and Shine.
Sure. As well as anything with Zippo.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing here is that, yes, there are ways to get
I guess
characters
Pink
at
also
this.
has Hasty.
There are lots of ways to get characters at this after it
Oh yeah, Purple has
uncovers.
Portal. So yeah. There
Also,
are
as
ways.
two of a kind,
There
there's a
are
lot of ways. Yeah.
So getting characters here is not the problem. The question is, do you really want to do that? Because you are spending more resources, if you're going that particular route, to be able to challenge a troublemaker that is only worth 2 points, which is middle of the road for an epic.
And 7 bonus. Or 7, not bonus. Oh, yeah. 7 power.
Chat, to answer your question, this is, owner, correct.
Yes. Yes, the
Yes,
owner,
so an
specifically the owner
opposing-
of Queen Chrysalis.
Yeah, so an opposing's an opposing opponent's, what is her name? Mod Pi Like a Rock will stay there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But your Mod Pi Like a Rock will go home.
And actually, no, there's a really tech counterplay to this, which is they do this uncovers and you drop a standstill. They moved the friend.
Yep.
This is true.
You can do that.
I think, is it when they move I think it's when they move one of their friends.
Yeah, we'd have to check.
Yeah, that would be a really tech play, though.
After opponent's character has just been moved.
Darn.
So, nope, no luck there.
So you could move it, and then you could stand still it to be back
Keep
at your
it
problem.
there.
That would be
know.
funny. I'm sure there's a use for this.
So here's the thing with this card. This is an on-uncover effect, and it's not just frighten like the villain is. This is potentially more powerful. This is Cutie Pox Scare on a stick. If only we had a way to turn that stick over and over and over and over again.
Oh, I don't know. Like, what is that?
That would be Monstrous Manual.
Yeah, that thing.
That seems okay.
A lot cheaper than, a bit cheaper than TSUV.
Well, now that's a 2 AT Cutie Pox Scare.
Yeah.
That's repeatable.
I like it.
Yes.
There's also
so what's going to wind up happening is people just aren't going to put things there, and you're okay with that too. You're not spending that 2 AT.
Go ahead,
is
Silver.
I was going to say there's also the opportunity to play this during your turn and flip it intentionally with, say, a bell tower or something.
Yeah, bell tower
as a
works.
main phase,
though I think
Cutie Pox Scare.
Though I think even funnier is using Hasty Discord, because then you're actually using it as a Cutie Pox Scare.
Yeah.
He has put it into play and uncover, right?
Yes, he's an uncover.
No. Well, he doesn't
immediate
put it into play.
timing.
He is just a bell tower.
Okay, just uncover.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I think that was like one of the cards I wanted, was a put a troublemaker into play and uncover it.
Yeah, you're not getting that.
That's a little bit powerful.
I mean, that might be purple pink, but I don't think you're getting that.
That's still insanely powerful.
It'd be very good.
But for 3.
So I actually have a different opinion on this. This seems like this is going to be really funny with pipsqueak-based farming.
Yeah, I could see that.
And it gets even funnier because, it's a 7. That's not going to work. Nope. Rainbow Dash Weather Leader. Exhaust it, punch it with Pipsqueak.
Or
Weather
Lead Pony
Leader
Badge.
does not exhaust that. You need Lead Pony Badge.
Oh, is it Lead? I get those confused.
Yeah, Lead Pony Badge.
Right, yeah, Lead Pony Badge. Hey, anyone remember that card from when it could exhaust problems? That was good times.
I remember
That
that
was
card.
a
Yes.
good time.
Problems being exhausted were the best.
No, that was the worst.
That was the best.
But Lead Pony Badge exhausting your own troublemakers is already something that's really fun to do. Just be very careful if you're choosing to do that you guarantee yourself the win, because that troublemaker will remain exhausted until your next turn and your opponent can beat it up like it was nothing.
Conveniently, however, since you uncovered this, maybe they don't have any friends there, and maybe they don't have any immediates.
I mean, to be
That's a good
fair,
point.
you are going into that 5 versus 0, so it's pretty hard to lose.
6 versus 0, in fact.
Yep, he's got the power counter from being cute.
6. It's hard to lose. Not impossible, but hard to lose.
Oh, I flipped a Paper Twilight and you flipped a Star Swirl. Well,
Darn.
Or just bail out Pipsqueak.
yep.
True.
Regardless, I think what we can say is Queen Chrysalis is generally going to be more suited for control than a standard farming deck.
Yes.
I agree.
She, like the other epics, the non-villainous epics, I should say, she does something very different, and that means the way that she's going to be used is different than normal. Like, Glimmer is like the aggro epic. Because you play all of your small things and then they're bigger and they beat her up and she doesn't frighten them in the meantime. And then we've got Nightmare Star, who is the hoser epic. And now, this is basically the pure control epic.
That being said, I'm looking forward to seeing multiple copies of this card come out at pre-releases and in other limited events. Just at Rare, you're going to see this card more often than you might think.
Yep.
Yeah, a bit.
Is it the promo? Come on, make this the promo.
I'd be annoyed. Because I'd need 3 of them.
Well, plus if it was the promo, most pre-releases let people use the promo, and then that would mean everyone would have a Queen Chrysalis, and that would be bad.
It's
And you get a Bug Pony, and you get a Bug Pony.
No, it's if they're gonna do that, it'd be one of the 2 promos for winning or placing well.
Maybe. Every
Villain
epic not villain is in fact worth 2 points so far. All 3 of them.
Yep.
Before Queen Chrysalis, they were also both 6 power.
Yep. Well, with that in mind, let's give our ratings.
3. Maybe higher if a deck can actually be built around it, but
I think you can easily build a control deck around this with Monstrous Manual, and Monstrous Manual already likes to make use of things like Nightmare Moon. I'm going to put this at 3-5.
Yeah, I would say 3-5, but like, you're not building around Queen Chrysalis, you're building around Monstrous Manual.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're just putting this in a Monstrous Manual deck. Now, we haven't seen Monstrous Manual since Camelot Knights era.
yeah,
No,
Gen Con 2014.
We saw
No.
Monstrous Manual in that deck, What Must Not Be Named, at Absolute Discord. The thing where we had the game that ended at 1 point to 0 and went to time. Remember that, Cheese?
Yeah.
Maybe?
It was also in the wall.
Yeah.
Yes.
The wall
Oh,
was more
yeah.
recent.
Oh yeah, Cheese, Cursed Chords has said that your wish has been granted. Monster Tamer from Premiere puts the card into play and uncovers it.
That's interesting.
You just have to steal it.
Yeah.
That 4 AT for 2 power friend.
Yep.
That you can't even bounce
The
a portal.
original Troublemaker Buster, though. The original one.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's true. Living
I
Silver,
don't
what do
think
you...
anyone even ran her in Premiere, but
No.
Yep,
Not in Premiere, but in Camelot they did.
I'm thinking a solid 3.
This is, I'm going to agree with Grandpa's here. This is a 3-5. There is something that can be built around this. Or that this is
I'm still
included
saying-
in something. You're right. This is not the key card, but this is definitely a card that goes in multiple decks, although it's also not always appropriate to run. This is the definition
Maybe
of
pink
3-5.
purple.
That
So you
said,
can
best queen,
Uncover it and then
clearly a 5.
Sure.
Shouldn't it
5
be a
for
7?
flavor.
Clearly
No.
a 5.
No. Clearly a 5.
The rare rating as well. The rare rarity is the biggest bonus. of
I'm
it.
just
I don't
hoping
see
that
rarity here. What are you
I'm
talking
just hoping that Thorax is something that can just instantly punch her in the face.
about?
That would be amusing.
3-5.
Exhaust this card to punch target Queen Chrysalis in the face.
Target, what?
Exactly.
There's no
Fine,
targeting in this game.
3.5.
Whatever.
No, you can stick to your guns.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
You don't
I'm
have
thinking
to
two
agree
of a
with other
kind.
people.
I have a specific deck that I'm planning for this.
Well, then set it at 3-5.
Yeah, no, it is 3-5.
Okay, there you go.
Good card. Best queen.
Next card.
Next card.
Next card. Limestone Pie.
Best
All work and no
card.
play. Oh boy.
We got some stuff to talk about with this card.
We got some stuff to talk about.
But first, this one comes courtesy of Vinyl Scratch, I believe, and Team Pandemonium.
Vinyl Scratch from Team Panoponium, yes. Not
Their
the
second
Vinyl
card.
Scratch that you use as your main.
To draw cards. Draw all the cards.
All right. Cheese, what are we looking at?
Let's see. 4 cost, 4 power, 2 rec. It's stubborn, because every orange card needs stubborn. And
Every orange
immediate.
Earth Pony needs
Yeah,
stubborn.
Earth Pony. Immediate. Exhaust this card to choose an opposing character. That character loses and can't have abilities until the end of the turn. So continuing on with the trend of Orange's disabling friends.
Yeah, so we know where Maud got this from her older sister.
And it has such a high cost, there's no possible way you could play this turn too.
Yeah.
So let's address the elephant in the room here, if we can. There is a significant difference, in fact, there are many significant differences between this card and between Mod Pie Let's Play Camouflage, which is the
Indeed.
closest analog we have. First off, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Continue.
Okay. Mod Pie Let's Play Camouflage is activated on your turn. That means that if you are trying to shut off a friend that has triggered abilities, like Meticulous, or things that happen and are put into pre-priority processing and do not require priority to activate, then Mod Pie Let's Play Camo is going to do you a lot of good.
Yeah, because she lasts until she readies, as opposed to the end of the turn. So you can use her on both players' turns.
Right. Mod Pie is also capable of keeping herself permanently exhausted if you want by paying an action token every turn. So if there really is just no window where you want to give your opponent a chance to use their ability, you can keep the friend locked down forever.
Yeah.
But it has to be a friend.
The real tech, though, is playing an out of action on her.
I mean, sure. Limestone Pie affects characters.
Which means mains.
This does mean mains. And one of the biggest discussions that we've seen around this card so far is the fact that you can, at immediate speed on your opponent's turn, shut off your opponent's main's ability. And if you can use some sort of card combination to get Limestone Pie out on turn 2, which is definitely possible, you can potentially shut off their main's ability to flip.
Yeah, this shuts down a lot of mains. The only ones that currently see play at the competitive level that I can think of that dodge her are Vinyl, because Vinyl will flip faster, and Twilight, because Twilight's ability is triggered at the start of turn usually.
This is actually a great card to play against the Cadence main, because you can activate it and then you can play your friends wherever you want. You're not going to get any counters on her.
I mean, you can give her 4 counters.
Except decks that play the Cadence main usually can operate without Cadence.
I would hope they can operate without Cadence.
So this is actually a dead card against the Cadence main deck, because they weren't planning on flipping anyway.
Yeah,
there
dead
you go.
card.
Exactly.
Cadence mains are notorious for having no friends in their decks.
Yes, this is a Cadence main is a hard counter to this. If you see this in your local meta, run Cadence.
Absolutely.
No, okay.
For the people out there wondering, I run a deck with Cadence mains.
Speaking of Cadence mains, the colorless Cadence main actually is hurt a lot by this card.
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
Because you will probably be stuck with a 1 power
Yeah.
main forever.
Changeling Pretender hates this.
So let's talk math here for a bit. This is potentially very scary for a lot of people, especially since we've seen an entire cycle of mains coming out of this next set that all flip on Confront. And assuming that we don't have any problems or other cards that allow you to flip on turn 1, the fastest most of these mains are going to be aiming to flip is on turn 2 using some of the premier problems. So with that in mind, what are the odds of being able to get Limestone Pie and the other necessary pieces required to get her out on turn 2 while going first to stop an opponent's main from flipping on turn 2?
Well, before we discuss the odds, we should figure out what cards can let you play her turn 2.
I agree.
That's the important thing.
I agree. So go ahead. What do we have?
So, in discussions with other people, outside of crazy shenanigans using 2 bits or cost reductions, I've been able to amass 3 different solutions. Just from talking with other people, they've provided these 3 different possibilities.
Okay.
The first and most obvious is Banish a Brayburn. That's
Sure.
2 rec right there, easy. Doesn't matter what color your main is, you've got 2 rec. The next way, and probably a more common card right now, is Factory Jack. If you have Trading Traditions, you play Factory Jack turn 1, you exhaust her, you have 1 AT. Start of your turn, you're up to 3 AT. You exhaust her, you're back up to 4. You also now have 3 orange rec, so you can play Limestone. Cousins helping each other out. And the other friend is Apple Bloom Remarkable, another cousin. Doesn't even need you to use Trading Traditions, but you can use her to reduce the cost of Limestone by 1 when you only have 3 AT on turn 2, because you used 1 to play Apple Bloom. So that's probably the 3 most notable ways of getting Limestone into play turn 2 on the play.
Right. They aren't necessarily the only ways, but they're the best ones we've found so far.
Yes.
So let's assume for the moment that we have a deck that includes 3 copies of Limestone Pie and 3 copies of each of those other cards that you mentioned, and is running Trading Traditions so we can play Applejack Factory Organizer on turn 1.
So that's 9 cards.
Right, so that's 9 cards plus the 3 for Limestone actually makes it 12 cards.
Well, yeah. But you need Limestone.
Right.
If you have 2 of the other 9, that's not going to help you out.
Right. Now we're going to do some fun math called multivariate hypergeometric distribution. This is...
like you learned in elementary school.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, this is totally just something that you should know offhand. No, this is actually really annoying to do.
This is very complicated math. It is not math that I did or that I did by hand. It's not math anyone should do by hand. This is something you really need a program or a calculator designed
Thank
to be
you,
able to figure out.
bots.
Thank you, bots. So when we look at the odds of getting at least one of those 3 other cards, or at least one of those 9 other cards, and a Limestone by our turn 2, and we can fudge the numbers slightly because Applejack has to come on turn 1 if we're going that route, but Limestone can potentially come as our 7th draw. We're looking at about a 16 to a 17% chance, assuming we... I'm sorry, a 16 to a 17% chance of us getting these cards in hand. That is
in the initial 7, yes.
Right. That is assuming we're going first.
Right. So,
or more specifically, I should say, the odds of us getting Limestone and getting one of the other 9 and going first are 16 to 17%.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to say, so we're supposed to divide that in half. But no, okay.
Yeah. So you're talking about slightly less than 20% of the time. Now, those are odds per hand. And RCAT mentioned that there's another thing we have to take into account here.
A mulligan.
And so this brings up the odds to, what was it, about
29%. So this is slightly unintuitive because you need to compute the failure rate and then take the inverse of that if you're doing this at home.
Math!
So just about 3 out of 10 games.
Right. So about 3 out of 10 games, you will get the possibility to have Limestone Pie and one of the other pieces necessary to play this and stop your opponent from flipping on turn 2. Cool.
Provided they have a main that matters.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Now we have to look at this a little bit more in depth. That is potentially very scary. Yes, but that's not game winning on its own. It is against some decks in the current meta right now that solely rely on their main and have no way to interact with opposing friends.
Yeah,
if you're playing...
Zippo's not going to be too happy in this situation.
Zippo's immune. Twilight's
Yeah.
immune to Limestone.
Why is she immune to Limestone?
Because
Because her
Twilight's
ability happens at start of turn, trigger. Limestone can't exhaust before that.
Oh.
So Twilight flips before and same.
Yeah.
Provided you have a meticulous trigger or an ancient research trigger, Limestone cannot stop you.
Which you should, because you're
Yeah.
running Zippo.
Right. So Vinyl and Twilight are definitely not going to be affected by this
They
quite
are
as much.
they are relatively immune. On the other hand, if you are running an Applejack farming deck, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, especially since if you don't have that opening Starlight Glimmer, you're not going to flip till turn 3.
Right, giving them yet another card that they can draw. So this is strong, but it's not game breaking. There are some mains that are going to want to flip, but many of the mains that want to flip have access to cards that can disrupt this. Let's look at some of the different options that you can use to get rid of Limestone. Obviously, any kind of dismissal effect will work.
Hey, look, it's 4 power. Eat a pumpkin.
Sure. You can eat a pumpkin. You can exhaust your DJ Breakdown to do this, but we can stay away from pink because Vinyl's already got this. You can just exhaust this card for 1 or more turns. A bailout or an out of action will do it for you.
Right, because you have priority on your turn first, always.
I mean, there are multiple options. You have your blue can frighten this for a turn. You might say, okay. I mean, just
you would
drop
have
a
to frighten on their turn, though.
Right, you frighten on their score base.
Or
yes, you
or
have
early
to
on your turn. Yes.
Right.
Orange can exhaust it. Wait,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we said that.
Yeah,
You can counterplay and steal this one's ability and then flip your main.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yellow
so-
in theory has ways to be able to bounce this. It's not great. Yellow's probably the weakest right now.
So do keep in mind that even if Limestone leaves play for the turn, her ability is actually still there until the end of the turn.
Right.
So you have to get rid of her before she uses her ability. Or just plan on doing it next turn.
Right. So Limestone is one of those cards where her value in this early game strategy is not at the same consistency of cards that we've seen that have been banned previously. You look at combo decks that used cards like Globetrotter or that used cards like
Flare Guy.
Well, I'm not counting that as a combo deck. That's more a control deck. Any of those previous cards had significantly higher win weights than just 30%. And that's assuming that if you can get this out on turn 2, you automatically win the game, which is definitely not true. The meta will adapt and shift as new threats come out. Look at what happened.
A lot of decks right now are running Kevin, so it's like, I have Kevin, so I still have my main color.
Right. Getting the color out is going to be something that a lot of decks are going to shift towards. When we saw a lot of Nightmare Moon Deep Darkness seeing play around Gen Con 2015, you saw vinyl decks kind of fall out of fashion a little bit because everyone was running them. And then when Nightmare Moon Deep Darkness stopped seeing play, you saw more people pick up vinyl again. It's this ebb and flow back and forth. You just need to make sure you include tools to deal with potential threats that you know to be in the meta.
And it just occurred to me that an Ahmad camo actually is a great counter to this card.
Yeah.
Yep. Mod camo will work fine.
So we've discussed how Limestone affects mains. We've discussed how scary that is, and we've discussed how not scary it hopefully is.
Yeah, not actually that scary.
Yeah. So the math says she's probably not as scary as people think, but the math also says, yes, it can happen.
Right.
So, but let's talk about her usage against unflipped mains and friends.
Go ahead.
Because, so...
You mean flipped mains?
Yeah, flipped.
Yeah, sorry.
Boosted mains.
Yeah, boosted mains and friends, yes. So, boosted mains. A lot of decks right now rely on their boosted main. Like, let's say Applejack. Boosted Applejack gets really big.
Sure,
Limestone
go ahead.
says, no.
Walk up to that troublemaker. Go ahead and punch him. By the way, you don't get your 2 power.
You don't get your 2 power. You get the points, but you don't get the 2 power. And
and you can even wait until you know if they're going to get it or not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can wait. Because she's immediate and you can do it during that window. But
window.
What other mains?
Hey, Vinyl, don't
not
draw a
Twilight.
card.
Like as we've discussed, Twilight is still immune because of the triggers and stuff. But yeah, Vinyl does not get an extra card.
Bluna doesn't move.
Bluna doesn't move. That's important. Scoots doesn't move 2 friends or 2 characters. That's really important.
Muffin Mare can't move
Octavia.
her power.
Yeah.
Octavia does not boost
So-
anybody.
There are basically every main that sees competitive play right now has a very powerful ability, and Limestone says no.
Except
don't.
Twilight, who's sitting over there just going, I'm the princess.
Yes. Twilight says, yeah, I'm whatever.
So this card is still going to have an impact even past turn 2.
Yes.
It's going to shut off problematic friends. It can shut off problematic friends that maybe didn't exist in play on your
Right.
turn, which is something Mod Pie
That's
Let's
a,
Play Camo can't do.
That's a nice
like,
Night
let's say-
Rider. It'd be a
Yeah,
shame if something were to happen to it.
It's a nice Thunder Lane.
It is a nice Thunder
Yeah.
Lane.
I hasty the Thunderland. Well.
Although
no
it's
counters
also
for
going to be very
you.
funny. That's a nice Limestone Pie, all work and no play. It'd be a shame if I got it first.
Counter to Limestone Pie is more pie.
Yep.
So, yeah, the opponent plays, and since you're probably not going to be using her at the start of turn, well, it depends. You might be turning off their main, but, you could wait and see, oh, wait, they just played a DJ Breakdown. Maybe I should play Exhaust Limestone so DJ can't kill Limestone.
Did we mention the stubborn yet? Solar Glacier
Yep,
pointed
stubborn.
out in chat that we did. It has a stubborn. It still grows very nicely, even when exhausted.
I mean, that's nice, but the thing is, Orange is already known for getting incredibly power-efficient friends. Or incredibly cost-efficient friends. A 4 for 4 is actually slightly less than what we'd like to see as the top end of Orange.
Mhm.
The Stubborn is merely icing on the cake. It's not anything that contributes a problem to this.
Yeah,
Except
it-
if I just dropped my 4 AD to play this thing, I'm going to want to score with it.
Sure,
I
but
guess-
I imagine 75% of the time you're going to be exhausting Limestone on the opponent's turn.
Sure. It's immediate speed. Why would you need to
Well-
exhaust this earlier?
Well,
Well,
if
okay.
you need to turn something off on your turn.
I mean, sure, that's fair. If you want to turn off a Night Glider or something like that.
or whatever. Like maybe you're intending on playing a Troublemaker Buster, but you don't want that Carbo Loader to flip 4 cards.
Actually, shutting off Carbo Loader is really funny. Shutting off anything with teamwork is really funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or maybe
So-
shutting off one of your own characters that can't confront problems or
You
can't
can't do-
face off.
You can't do that. It shuts off opposing characters.
It is opposing. Good call. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Yeah. Same as her little sister.
Yep.
They're both only opposing.
So with that in mind, what we have here is a friend that can potentially be scary less often than it is in the very, very early game, and then can still be very relevant in the mid to late game as you can continue to shut off problematic friends and potentially shut down an opponent's boosted main and force them to use resources to get rid of it. That to me sounds like a card that you might build a deck around. Not necessarily just getting Limestone out on turn 2, but this aspect of orange-based control. We've
Yeah.
already seen some other orange control cards, Applejack.
And also Applejack and Applejack.
And Applejack.
Ooh, but what about Applejack?
Nah.
Yeah.
And I can only think of 3 Applejacks
So-
that are control based.
So I don't know if you build a deck around it, but I do think that it is a supporting card in a
Orange control.
Yeah.
Yes.
in Orange Control and in several Orange Control different builds.
Sure, mono, multicolor, or whatever.
Yeah. This.
Yeah, the fact that she's only 2 rec means you can splash her easily as well. Like I know I've built a lot of orange secondary control decks that look at 2 rec or less, and she has 2 rec.
Yeah.
So yay.
The cost for this is slightly too high to match the power curve that we've seen in the past, but this is still a really good card, even at 4.
Yeah.
So, I think if we're going to ratings, this I think goes in 4, but it could also trend half a point on either side of that, depending on whether or not someone finds something broken to do with it.
Yeah.
I think with the cards we have now, at least with my cursory exploration, yeah, I think she's not going to be, oh my god, broken yet at 4. Although, I guess we should at least discuss the possibility of using Biff and her.
I mean, sure, go ahead. Silver, why don't you talk about that?
Well, cards like Biff and then Fluttertone can flip your main, or flip an opponent's main back to the starting side. So if you wanted to try a strategy where maybe you didn't get Limestone Pie out turn 2, you'd still have Biff as a backup to hopefully flip the opponent's main up early enough before they can play their important cards.
Yeah, it might work. It's expensive. Biff and Limestone is a 7 AT combo, and Fluttertone and Limestone is an 8 AT combo in 2 colors. So they're rough, but possibly doable.
Yeah.
Well,
But
it's something to consider at the very least.
Yeah, with that, I'm going to agree with you guys. I'm actually going to err on the optimistic side with this card. I've got a couple orange control ideas in mind, so I'm going to go with 4/5 on this. I think that cards like this and cards like Catajack that we spoiled a couple weeks ago are beginning to help form the foundation of a mid-game control deck focused around orange.
And she is an Earth Pony, which means she works with everyone's favorite teamwork card.
Trenderhoof?
Carboloader?
Trenderhoof. You
I'm
probably
sorry,
have
No,
Carboloader.
I'm talking about Tall Tail. What's wrong with you guys?
He doesn't have teamwork.
He kind of has teamwork.
He does not have teamwork. All right, next card.
Last card.
Last card.
The last
Cheese
card
and
of
Leo,
April.
did you get your ratings in?
No, I'm a solid
Oh.
4.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, 4.
And the 4 is basically take it. There's not a lot of variance on this one.
I like Flamingo Hoof Daniels.
Flamingo. Yep, Flamingo. All right,
Oh,
next card.
wait.
What?
Almost. I forgot. The most important part about this card. This totally reminds me of Celestia being deep.
It does.
Oh,
It's like immediately what I
Beautiful.
thought of.
Very true.
Okay, moving on. Similio duplexus.
just Similo.
Sounds like
Dupe.
it's whatever.
Sounds
Yet
similar.
another card that has already generated quite a bit of hubbub.
Although this one for different reasons.
So does this mean we're going to get Spider Shy?
I hope so.
I mean, we've got one card from the episode.
That was such a good.
Spider Shy.
Yeah.
Spider
did
Shy.
exactly what you asked, Starlight Glimmer. I gathered
Oh,
all the
all the
animals.
in the
That
castle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's covered with spiders and I think 2 snakes.
Fluttershy, you're covered in bugs.
Yeah, that was great.
It was a good moment. Living Silver, what are we looking at with this card?
Okay, so besides the cost and the wreck, we have main phase event. During the next score phase, there is an additional confront step for each problem. And a lot of the debate that people have been thinking, well, initially, I'll take a step back to the rules. When we confront problems, we take a confront step, score a point at one problem or don't score, and then we can attempt a second front step, all within the same score phase.
Right.
And as players, we're allowed to take multiple confront steps.
A confront step is performed for each problem in the player's order of choosing.
Right.
Exactly.
So if
at
there are... Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying, at the face, we confront our problem, we play the Simplo Duplexus, and we confront that same problem again at the very base usage of this card.
No, we played it, then we confronted. This is
Right.
main phase timing.
Yeah.
Oh, main
this,
phase.
this is main phase. Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
That's what I said, right? Main phase?
No.
JK. JK.
Yeah,
that's what I
Main
did.
phase timing.
So when you play this card and you move to your score phase, you should definitely say at your score phase what order you're putting your confront steps.
And this is something that we need to clarify. two things surrounding this card. The first of which is the current rules regarding multi-problem face-offs. How do we start a multi-problem face-off right now?
By confronting 2 or more problems.
Okay, cool. So let's say I have characters sufficient to confront one of my problems, and I play a Similo Duplexus during my main phase. I confront that problem, and then I confront that problem again. Do I have a multi-problem face-off?
You did not.
No.
And why not?
Because you didn't confront 2 problems. You confronted 1 problem twice.
Exactly.
Compromise.
Compromise. There is a difference.
Smiles.
Yay!
Yay!
There is a difference between confronting 2 or more problems and confronting a single problem multiple times. So even if you were to play additional Similo-duplexes, I guess would be the plural.
Duplexes.
Even if you play 13 Similo-duplexes somehow.
I have a question. Oh wait, f-stop.
Yeah.
There are enough ways.
Oh,
You just need a lot of AT.
This is good. This is actually an alternate combo
This
win
is
con.
yes, it's totally comboable.
Yeah.
Just play it infinite times.
You just do the Coco Crissies
Oh my god.
This used
Yeah,
to be
this-
this used to be more comboable. I'm very
Oh.
sad. I weep
And
for old
this is
Fluttershy.
why we can't have nice things.
This is. Yes, it is a very expensive event to play, and if you have infinite AT and you're not already winning the game somehow, something has gone horribly wrong. So,
Yeah,
Wait.
what's going to happen is you're going to have infinite AT, play this a million times, move to confront step, and then they're going to,
Bail out.
yeah. And you're going to go, why didn't I play the vote? No!
I'm so sad. So that covers one aspect of it, but the other aspect that we have to cover is the current wording of this card says during the next score phase, there's an additional confront step for each problem. It does not go into detail about when those confront steps actually take place. This is something that will be covered on the FAQ document for Defenders of Equestria. It will have a section for Similo-duplexes that will explain exactly how this happens, whether or not you can intersperse or interweave the additional confront steps with your primary confront steps. So for now, we don't have a solid answer on that, but I can tell you that this will be covered.
Oh, okay, because I assumed that you would have to go A, B, C, B, C, or whatever, announce it at the beginning.
Right.
But, okay.
I would assume that you would need to take the primary confront steps first and then take the secondary and tertiary confront steps after that point in time. But again, we'll get a wording on the FAQ.
Fair enough. So, depending on how that's worded, matters a lot with 2 specific cards. Jest Clowning Around and Firewind Ready.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Now-
gonna be funny.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of madness. Kids, this is why you should never get involved in time magic or cloning magic.
It wasn't
Clones are
cloning magic, it was speed magic, actually.
Right, time magic. I mean, she made 2 copies of herself.
Okay, look. Starlight is a professional unicorn. Don't try this at home.
Unless you're also a professional unicorn, and disclaimer, you're not.
Or if you are, please email us at
We would like to chat.
commentariasmagicteam@gmail.com. So, what uses do we have for this right now? Beagle, you had a couple thoughts on this, and I think you shared my own.
So this was spoiled. We haven't said who spoiled this yet. Yeah.
Thank you, Meticulous Talks.
Yeah, this was spoiled earlier today by Meticulous Talks, which is solving problems, which is very appropriate, and cursed chords.
Hi, Cursed.
Yes.
Hello.
And the go-to example they went with was, as soon as I saw this card, this was also the go-to example I went with, Industrial Revolution.
Yep.
Because it's a card that becomes a problem that says, when you confront this, do some awesome stuff. Specifically, in this case, it puts critters into play, which will then help you to confront your other problems. So, assuming that you can stack how you confront problems in the order that you want to, play a similar duplexus, confront your Industrial Revolution, put a friend everywhere, then confront it again, put a friend everywhere again. You've now added 2 power to the other 2 or 3 or 4 problems.
2 power minimum.
Yeah, 2 power minimum. Like if you have a baton, that's great. Now you've added 4 power.
Or if you're Octavia.
Or if you're Octavia, then
You've added 6.
Although then you're running a
up to
tricolor deck.
6, because you
Yes.
might not have.
Well, you've added at least a minimum of 4.
Yes, at least 4. And that can get you to score a lot of. Well, that can get you to confront a lot of problems a lot of times in one turn.
What if we could make this even better? What if we could use other effects that happen when you confront problems? Specifically, other effects surrounding critters.
Kratos?
Yeah, like Kratos.
Yeah. I mean, we are in 3 colors now, but that's a lot of points you're scoring in one turn.
I'm okay splashing to get a bunch of extra points. And I'd probably be running Kratos in a critter deck anyway.
Obviously, other dilemmas like this as well. Just Clowning Around likes this, as we said earlier.
Oh, Tyrix just loves this too.
Tyrix gives you 2 Frightens instead of 1.
Go ahead, Living.
Yeah.
I was going to say, just clowning around with orange shenanigans with our hazmat suits and tricking the trickster.
Yeah.
Get a powerful orange character, repeats on the new problem.
Yeah, you can do some weird things. And you might ask, what happens if I have a problem that enters play after I've played Similo Duplexus, either a dilemma or something replaced with just clowning around? And the answer is, modifiers just kind of float out there. They'll affect everything that meets the requirements of that modifier.
Well, cloud modifiers do.
Cloud modifiers.
And this is a cloud.
Yes. So if you are curious what happens if you were to replace one of the problems you've already confronted, then yes, that works completely fine. There's still additional things we have to find out regarding whether or not you get a confront step for each problem location, or whether or not it's for each problem. But again, all that's going to be covered under the FAQ.
Yeah, so there's definitely a reason this thing costs 4, because it can get out of hand.
This does silly things.
Yeah.
It needs to be
Professional unicorn kids. Don't try this.
We have like actual problems that when you confront them do cool things, like save the day. Again, 3 colors, but that's an extra 2 points every time you confront save the day.
If you've got some kind of blue effect for immediate speed movement, like Ever Vigilant, just slap your RTO back up at the problem after you've already confronted it.
Or the hat, the wing modulator, limb modulator.
Cybernetic limb actuator.
And I'm not not remembering it, but aren't there problems that allow you to dismiss a character?
Not on confront.
Not on confront.
I thought Pink had some.
No.
Pink has
Though
Sol.
you could use this with Pinkie Pie Pokey Pony to
Get 2 things at
to
least.
retire 2 friends and dismiss 2 friends.
I hope it's not longer than the rule set. I already have to scroll through a lot of information looking for things solar.
Yeah. What else? What else triggers on confront that's interesting? Berry Punch exhaust. So never mind.
If we want to go with purple, Avalanche from Premier forces each player to discard a card.
Well, the opponent. Discards.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
The opponent, the person who is not confronting, discarding a card.
So now you've made them discard 2 cards instead of 1.
And that's within the color.
That's within the color, though you do need orange for that.
Sure.
Interesting.
So yeah, there are a lot of
problems.
ways that this can be interesting. However, despite being very interesting, we are looking at steep play requirements.
Yeah.
4
Ouch.
cost and 4 requirement. That requires a lot of purple investment.
That tells me you're going to need some fixers. Some Premier era fixers if you're going to make this work.
No. That works.
I don't
Because
know.
Barrel won't work, Makeover won't work. The leaked Super Makeover would work.
But that's another 2 AT in theory.
Yeah, that's 2 AT instead of 1.
Solar Glacier, white does have a problem that lets you do that, but only the first time it's confronted. That's Kitchen en Flambe.
Yeah, it only lets you do that once, unfortunately. What about Coco?
What about Coco?
Coco's a good pony.
Oh,
Yes.
maybe they're talking about Coco reducing the cost of Similo Duplexus?
Maybe.
Hey,
I mean,
you know what
cost
else reduces
reduction's always
cost?
good.
Rainbow
Element of
Shine.
Magic.
Yeah, EOM.
Rainbow
It's
Shine.
Get 3 of them out.
It's the first
Oh.
time a
wait.
player confronts.
Yeah.
Solar
Actually,
Glacier.
yeah, the first player to confront for Kitchen off Flambe.
They have clarified how these effects work because those were in the area of premier wording,
Gotcha.
Yeah, it has errata.
Yeah.
as
Okay.
does just about every card in premier. Anyway.
So let's move on to rating. Yeah, this is tough.
It's a 2/5.
I
Actually,
don't- well,
it might not even be a 2. It might be a
Yeah.
1.5/5.
Would you run this in? What is it rare? Yeah, it's rare. Would you run this in limited? Like,
No, I
It's
don't.
too expensive.
No, this is
Yeah.
not a good
If
limited card.
If I'm in purple, I don't know. It depends on what other dilemmas are out there. Let's not forget, if you've got the AT to do it, sometimes you just need the extra point burst, and 2 extra points for 4 AT is not the worst ratio we've seen.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. Like that's fine. But the question is, can you spend 4 AT and spend all the AT you need to confront 2 problems in the same turn?
Do
Well,
we get
yeah.
blending in again so I can play face-off chicken forever?
well, the question is, do you wow, what was I going to say? Now, is it going to hurt a limited deck?
Yeah, I think so.
I think, yeah.
But I'm trying to give it a constructed rating. Like in limited, yeah, I wouldn't run this. But in constructed, this card is either like a 1.5 or a 5, and it's hard to say at this point.
I don't even think I give this a 1.5. I think this is a 1 in limited. That said, you are right that if someone can find a way to break this is
Like,
going to be a 5 or
completely
it's going to be a
built, yeah.
1.
Yeah, this goes all or nothing.
Yeah.
So
Living
what does
Silver,
that equate to in the score?
one of those
Hey,
2 scores.
yeah.
You don't average it.
Yeah, you don't average.
It's
It
one
depends
of those 2.
on what people can like. I have ideas. Like I want to build Crittero Duplexus. Like that sounds super fun.
Then
The
I'm
question
going
is,
to
does it work?
I'm gonna bank on ingenuity and give it a 5 on the prediction that somebody will come up with a way to break it.
You think somebody's going to find something?
I think somebody will. I have a lot of faith in the community.
All right, you heard it here. You heard it here first, folks. Living Silver gives this card 5 out of 5.
And
Perfect.
he will give you $1,000 for. No, he won't.
Perfect
you
5 out of 7.
I will bet you a spike baby dragon.
I'll
Make
bet
that
you
foil.
I'll bet
High
you a
stakes.
foil- I'll bet you a foil alpha spike baby dragon.
Ooh.
I'll give you one of my many redeeming qualities that I keep pulling.
Okay.
But that has actual value. Like the over under on that sucks.
Well,
Yes.
even
So,
even if we had more than a day's notice, Cursed, I think I would still give it that rating. Like unless I spent all of my time.
And we'd have to see the
Just
rest,
on
to see
this
the rest of
card.
the cards.
right. There's
Yeah,
a whole,
exactly.
There's a whole other 100 pieces coming in this set.
But so I think what will help is more dilemmas. And we've been told there are dilemmas in this set. Yay! We don't know how many. We don't know what colors. Like for all I know,
Or
the
their
only
cost.
colors that are going to get it are orange and white because they don't have the best dilemmas right now.
I can guarantee you there's
They
no
have
green
dilemmas,
dilemma.
No, it's going to be colorless.
White's dilemma is fine.
It's
Oh,
gonna
I
a
be
think he
colorless
said-
dilemma would be fine.
Yeah.
So
Actually, no, I don't think we could. I think you need to have a requirement on a dilemma. I don't think we'll ever see a colorless dilemma.
I'm still waiting until we get wild wreck cards.
Wild Rick? No.
Yeah,
Please
well,
no.
no, it's where you need requirement
single
because
color.
it's bad if you do it at the beginning. But it just means that you need a certain amount of power out on the board
Maybe.
because you shouldn't be able to play it early.
I mean, I could see something like working.
But yeah, so
What do you think? What do you think, Chad? Do you think we could see something like wild requirement on cards, or do you think we could see colorless dilemmas?
So I'm switching over to the spreadsheet of all the cards. There is probably not room in the resource section for a dilemma for each color.
Okay.
So it
Well,
might not
we know there are
even equate it.
dilemmas. We've been told that there are dilemmas. We've been told that there are dilemmas and more chaos cards. We've seen chaos cards.
Well, you think you've seen chaos cards.
Sure.
Yeah, you've seen chaos cards.
Maybe expensive, colorless dilemmas would be kind of awesome.
Maybe.
Because you couldn't have a cheap one. That just would be broken.
Yeah.
Any dilemma that costs more than one is already immediately suspect, though.
Yeah. So my thing with this is,
how about a fire when ready dilemma? Like,
No.
just you need
No.
6 colors to confront this dilemma.
No.
And 6 colors to play it.
No,
No.
stop it.
Whatever
Sing-
happened to my resource? If you have all 6 elements in play, you win the game.
That's in Nightmare Villain Challenge.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it is.
We literally made that. What else do you want? It's a card.
A pony.
Well, it's a card with quotation marks.
No, it's a card. Yeah, it's a card with quotation marks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright.
This thing, I don't think this is going to see play anywhere other than a 5 or 1, because I can't see a tricolor deck taking good enough advantage of this.
I could see a
Maybe
dual color
Zippo?
deck splashing.
A really crazy Zippo deck?
Zippo's already got some weird stuff coming to it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know why you'd run this in Zippo, but okay.
Well, as an
a
alternative
closer.
win condition. Like,
Just kinda-
it would be a less pure control Zippo. It would be more of a mid-rangey Zippo with Kratos and Semlo Duplexus.
Yeah, get some value out of all those critters.
Exactly.
Maybe.
There's some things we could do.
Purple white, just raid the heck out of their discard pile.
That might be funny.
Yeah. So
Not in competitive, but it would be funny.
also, we should address the flavor text here.
This is great
Yeah.
flavor text.
So
Trust. Go ahead. Ara, you had a good pinky voice earlier.
Trust me, being in 2 places at once sounds like tons of fun, but then you run amok and knock over a barn and have to watch paint dry.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So what we need to do is we need to play Semlo Duplexus to confront a bunch of things that you only are confronting with Dip in the Pool tokens.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Clearly, this goes in Coco Curses then.
Alternatively, use Semlo Duplexus then confront with Trixies and mods.
Sure. Best secondary 6.
Which are
So-
on the way.
Okay, so that's it for April, right?
That's it for April. What's coming up in May?
I don't know.
A small
convention?
con, you probably haven't heard about it.
Well, it depends on who you ask. We're going to get into the BabsCon versus Everfree fight. No, Everfree's better. No, BabsCon's better. Anyway, cons are awesome. Everfree. May 12th through the 14th in Seattle. Lots of CCG stuff happening.
I'm gonna be there. You're gonna be there. You're gonna be there. You're gonna be there. You can't see who I'm pointing
Teacup.
at, but I'm
Teacup.
actually pointing.
I will not be there.
Are you pointing in the correct geographical
Are you pointing at us
location?
on the screen
I'm
or
going
at
to
us
say-
in
I'm going to say yes, and you can't prove otherwise.
Drat?
Okay, we should
I'm going to build a
address-
time machine just to find out.
Well, you think I can't prove otherwise.
Are you watching me right now? That's kind of creepy.
You can't prove otherwise.
Yep.
Oh no! Hoisted by my own petard.
Pretty much. Anyway, yeah, lots of CCG events. We had the Everfree account post the schedule of events recently. We also had details on all those events posted to Reddit, linked to from
And our Facebook.
and Twitter.
Yeah.
We have those now.
Yes, we do.
You should follow us, in fact.
If you want. If that's
You would like us
okay with
too.
you.
There's our Facebook link. Twitter will be coming in chat as well. And of course, as we would love to see all of you out there at Everfree, we've got, let's see, Popper, Team Sealed, Villain Challenge, Harmony, what else?
Nightmare Challenge.
Lots of Villain Challenge and a
Yeah, Villain
limited
Challenge, sorry.
tournament. Villain, yes.
No Nightmare. No Nightmare.
No, only Nightmare. Sombra's not good enough for us now.
And I think there's some open play in there too, right? So
Oh,
if
yeah.
you
No,
want to play
yeah.
best format like Nightmare, then that's totally okay.
Like, if you want to bring your Nightmare deck, you can bring your Nightmare deck, but there's not going to be an official format for it. Or an official event for it, I should say.
No, that one was a little too much fun at Babs, and it's not the kind of thing that's going to make a lot of sense to run again.
It's something that you need to pull out every once in a while, not twice in a month.
Yeah, maybe once Defenders comes out, then it'll be fun to open it up again and
Every
see if we
event?
can.
Every con.
No. Every event at the con. At every con.
Every
Is
event
all
at the
Nightmare
con is
all the
Nightmare.
time?
Yes.
It's Fluttershy's no fun zone.
We should mention, however, that because of our venue, participation in all of our events is limited.
Yes, the room that Everfree has this year is somewhat smaller than the previous years, so if you're interested in playing, you should probably come talk to us early to make sure you get a spot.
Right,
We have these really nice little wooden tokens, and you get to keep the token afterwards.
Mm.
I heard people in the past have also gotten some awesome door prizes like bricks.
Yeah, well, no, the brick was Brony Cam, although there might be a couple of fun things planned this year.
Rocks?
You'll find out.
Rocks?
Teacup.
Teacup?
Teacups would be pretty impressive. Hoop Daniels, to answer your question as to how early as you get there, the day the con opens and the room is available, which I believe is going to be around noon on Friday, slightly before noon, we will have sign-up sheets for all the events for the entire weekend, and we will be calling people in on first come, first paid. Or, I'm sorry, first paid, first served.
For the paid events. There are a number of events that are free.
Right. Most of the events are actually free. The only events that are paid are ones that you have to get product for.
Well, yeah. But yeah, we expect a pretty large crowd for Harmony. So if you're interested in Harmony on Saturday, you might want to sign up on Friday.
You will likely still be able to get a spot if you come in Saturday morning, but it's not going to be guaranteed.
Yeah, we can't guarantee it. So, what is it? 24 people?
Yes.
Yeah.
24
so,
seats.
It's a lot of people. That's more than we had at Babs by 50%.
But Everfree has also been larger than Babs in the past.
Yes, Everfree has been pretty large. So
we got the Vancouver crew coming down, I think. Got a bunch of pretty good players up there. So if you're looking for competition, you better be bringing your A game here.
Or if you're just looking to play ponies, just bring a deck.
Yeah, we've also got a Harmony practice if you're looking for something not quite so serious.
We've got a couple learn to play and open play sessions if you want to bring in some friends who you may be meeting there who haven't experienced the full glory of the CCG.
Well, okay, to be fair, the full glory of the CCG includes such things as Magical Mailbox and
of course
Globetrotter and...
I'll bring my Nightmare deck. I'll run demos.
No. Don't scare them away. And as per our usual mode of operation, we will be at least attempting, if not succeeding, to live stream many of these events.
With lessons learned from BabsCon.
Hopefully we'll be able to get some less interrupted streams out there for you guys and girls.
So we took a look. I got mad at things. I discovered that I was getting mad for a reason. And we fixed it. Teacup.
Yeah.
Teacup.
Pre-release. What's it happening?
Right, yeah, that's the other thing that's happening next month.
We don't know.
We don't know specific dates yet, although I have seen some events popping up on Facebook that are saying the weekend after Everfree. So keep an eye on your social media pages for your friendly local game stores and bug the store owner as well. You will likely see information coming in the next week.
If they're not sick of you bugging them already, a couple of ours are.
Right.
Yeah.
Solar, you don't need to worry. Even if you can't catch our streams live, we always post them to our YouTube channel as well, provided they are not chopped to pieces.
Yes, we try very hard to make sure that you can watch stuff after the fact.
And yeah, so Defenders is supposed to be next month, unless some tragic event happens. But
The
that's
work
not going to
of
happen.
an enemy stand, perhaps?
It could be. Nani!
Yeah. So, and it's currently scheduled for the week after Everfree. So if we're really, really lucky, there might be some DOE product at Everfree.
No promises at all.
No promises.
No
Zero
promises at all.
But if we're lucky,
Maybe?
don't hold your breath, but do hold your hopes.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll see.
And at some point after that, we mentioned this before, but at some point after DOE comes out, we're going to try and do talk about what was it? The meta
set recap. Yeah.
Yes, the
Or
Marks
the
meta recap. Which will hopefully give you guys a launching point for building decks. Like, you know, there's been a lot of successful things at different times. Admittedly, you know, it's been a long time since we've gotten another set, so there's been a lot of decks that have come out. Metas have changed over time, which is a good sign. You know, we've had metas where that did not happen.
Mod winter.
Yeah, final mod. But yeah, so
it's pretty awesome that without a new set, we've still watched some significant shifts in the meta.
Right, yeah,
That's awesome.
And it's something I would really, really like to talk about. And we're going to try and get that to you guys somehow.
You want to talk about this game?
Yes.
I'm flabbergasted.
I don't know what form you would even do that in.
Interpretive dance.
You heard it here, folks. Commentary as Magic's meta recap presented by Emperor Bugle through the medium of interpretive dance.
Yes. No. No, we'll probably do a roundtable. We don't know at this point if we're going to stream it or pre-record it, but we'll let you guys know as soon as we know.
Yep.
Why is Rainbow Shine flip-flopping?
She was doing interpretive dance.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Oh, Solar, Rainbow Shine already did something wrong. She comboed off at BabsCon.
We have video proof of this.
We do.
She
did
actually exactly one thing wrong.
And he was in danger of losing to an aggro deck.
I was actually in danger of losing to an aggro deck.
But then Rainbow Shine did something wrong. With that, I think we're basically covered for this evening. Does anyone else have any last-minute closing comments they'd like to make?
The new Nightmare Challenge, it's been brought up. It's a thought.
The new Nightmare Challenge or the new Villain Challenge?
Oh, yeah. Just kidding. I got them
they
confused.
asked we're still only going to have Sombra and Nightmare Moon at Everfree.
Right. If you didn't get the chance to come test Sombra at his premiere at Babs, not a worry, not a problem. He'll be up there at Everfree.
This will be our first Villain Challenge outside of California.
Yes, it will. So if you are a little further to the north, you will get the chance to try this if you haven't already tried it with your home group.
Yeah. Bring a deck.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Bring Zippo.
Don't bring Zippo. Also, don't bring pie eating contest unless you're going to play it in Harmony.
No, don't bring pie eating contest unless you intend to also take your teammates out.
If you bring Zippo, make sure to request the streamed table.
Yeah, don't. We won't give it to you, but you can request it.
I didn't say we would. I just said make sure to request it. Lunari won't be there, however, so you won't be able to torture him specifically.
Yep. Sorry, Lunari. You get to escape the wrath of Zippo in Villain Challenge. He nods.
However, were they asking if we have ideas for other villain challenges?
They were suggesting Rainbow Shine doing something wrong in the villain challenge.
Oh, okay.
No, hold on. If we're doing stuff like that, it's Villain Challenge Zipper will. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, she will throw puppies at you.
Puppies.
You will have to overcome the
Teacup.
hordes of puppies.
Teacup.
The teacups of puppies.
Earthworm Jim actually used to have throwing puppies.
I guess we do have a teacup puppy, don't we?
We do.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, no, I was talking about in the episode. She was thinking of a teacup poodle.
Oh, that's right. Well, I think we've kind of stretched this one about as far as it can go.
Yeah.
With that, thank you everyone for joining us for this live stream. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, like we mentioned our Facebook and our Twitter, but we're also hoping to like put content on our Facebook that
Yes.
More regular content, so you don't have to wait a week or two.
Yes,
Aggro player discovers this weird trick to deal with villains. Farmers hate her.
Maybe
new
some
cards to blow
actual
your mouth
content.
wide open. Number 7 will surprise you.
Yeah.
It'll all clickbait all the time.
Yeah.
We would appreciate you following us on our Facebook page.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and hopefully there'll be cool stuff up there for you guys. So, it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's not just we want to see numbers go up. I mean, that's a part of it. Don't get it wrong. Don't get us wrong. But there should be some cool stuff in the near future.
Yep. Feel free to share your thoughts and opinions with us either through our email at commentaryismagicteam@gmail.com. We will link all this information in chat here, even though we have already. Our Facebook page, our Twitter, and of course you can leave comments here in chat on Twitch. And if you like the content that we produce and you feel so obligated, we do have a donate button just below this video. There are costs associated with what we do, especially for live streaming events from conventions. It's not free. We do it because we love it, but every little bit helps.
And also because we love you.
Yes.
And Fluttershy loves bits. Please donate to Fluttershy's Bit Fund.
Yeah, she needs the price of what was it? Lettuce went up exorbitantly.
Lettuce and cherries.
Yep. With that, I think we're going to go ahead and call it for this evening. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I am, as always, Grandpaws.
I am Emperor Bugle.
Big cheese.
Big cheese.
There he is.
Yay.
I think some of us might be clocking out.
Oh, come on. It's only like
Premature.
8:30. Come on.
Go on, finish the call.
I don't know, Aracat, I guess. Is that my name?
And
Teacup.
Living Silver.
We'll see you all the next time we get 3 cards spoiled.
Teacup.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, the next Sunday we get 3 cards spoiled.
Yes.